are able to communicate with a large mainframe. Now, supposing I've written a letter and I want to send it to somebody else, I can plug into the mainframe or dial up the mainframe and send that message into the mainframe. And then I might have another message for another person. I can again put that into the mainframe where it's stored. And then I can disconnect and leave the letters sitting there. And then at some stage, several hours later, somebody else could connect on and pick up their message, and then the other person could come on and pick up their message.
This is exactly the same sort of system that Jerry Van Atta was using, actually, earlier.
That's exactly it.
But there are some publicly available systems like this, and I suppose you could actually send a message to everybody, just broadcast a message and leave it on. When it got onto the system, it would come out with that message.
You can send it to a whole group of people.
Do you actually use them yourself?
Yes, I use it a great deal, as I know you do. I was out in Hong Kong a month or so ago, and I forgot a computer program, and so I had to mail my secretary, send electronic mail to my secretary saying, please put this program on, so that I could pull it down. Luckily, my secretary connected to the computer less than an hour later, and I was able to pull that program off in Hong Kong without any trouble.
And did that mistake cost you a lot of money?
No, it's very, very cheap indeed. In fact, it's a lot cheaper than sending letters.
I believe that.
True.
Well, this ability to send information from computer to computer is being increasingly used in business. Small companies can buy microcomputers and link them via the telephone line to make use of software services held on much, much larger machines. We've been to see one system in action in a rather unusual setting.
When you're ill and need something from a chemist, you need it now and not next week, when it might be just too late. Because of this, chemists depend upon their wholesale suppliers to provide a quick and efficient service, often expecting delivery within 2 hours of ordering. With warehouses all over the country, Vestric are a major supplier of pharmaceutical products to chemists and hospitals nationwide. They want to provide a service better than their competitors, and to this end have been developing their mainframe computer systems for around 16 years.
During that period of time, we've converted order entry systems, stock control, management information, and all our accounting into computer systems. So it seemed quite natural that we should then go on and see how we could bring these benefits to our retail pharmacist customers.
What Vestric have done is to offer an improved ordering system by linking the large memory and processing power of their main computer in Liverpool to a humble microcomputer in the chemist's shop. Programmed specifically to meet the needs of the chemist, orders can now be entered directly into the micro's memory before being relayed to Vestric by telephone. Pharmacist Barry Harrison was one of the first to order supplies this way.
The system is very, very easy to operate. All my staff were trained within a matter of hours. They find it very, very easy to use. They can enter items when they've got time to do it. It's an alphanumeric code. The first 3 letters relate to the product, and the last digits are a check code. Double ordering is eliminated because if a product is punched into the computer a second time, a warning comes up informing us that it is already on order, and we can then either cancel it or we can repeat that item. It can give me a price, it can check the quantity that they've got in stock, it can tell me exactly what pack sizes are available and how many. And I have all that within seconds of the order being relayed to the wholesale branch.
And to do that, all Barry has to do is to use the phone.
And as soon as I get the clearance code, I then merely press my data button. And on my screen now comes the word transmitting, followed by receiving, showing that the computer centre is receiving that order.
Through Vestric's link-up of computers, Barry's order is immediately printed out in his local branch warehouse, where it's dealt with in the normal way. By using computers for communication, urgently needed drugs could be on their way to the patient even quicker than before.
I think nearly every retail pharmacy will eventually be placing their order by a computer terminal system. With a terminal in the shop, we cut down the time tremendously. And of course, because we're dealing with dispensed medicines, many of them needed urgently, time is a very important factor in our business.
That was a private service, even though it used the public telephone system. British Telecom runs an information service on large central computers that can be used by anyone with the right kind of hardware and software, and that includes our micro and the equipment John and I were using earlier. Richard Hooper runs this service. Richard, Presto's been around for 3 years or so. How has its usage developed?
Well, I think we've concentrated on what we call rifle shot target marketing. Here, for example, on this screen, you see the index for travel agents. There are about 4,600 travel agents.
And how are they using it?
Well, holiday availability and, for example, booking. They can book airline seats.
So they can book them direct with the airline's computers and tour agents?
Through Prestel, through a gateway into airline reservations computers.
But how can a home user use it?
Well, still staying on the subject of travel, which is very popular at home, you've got a service like Skyguide, which tells you the departure and arrival information at Heathrow Airport. So if you're going out to meet Granny...
Well, let's have a look. She's arriving from the States. Let's look at...
Well, Terminal 3, so that's 17. That actually gives you the status of flights updated a few minutes ago.
It actually is 2 minutes old, is that? How's that done?
Well, the computers that actually drive the arrival and departure boards in the lounges are also driving an American Express computer in Brighton, which is driving the Prestel computers back in London, and there you are.
So you're absolutely certain what you're seeing on your screen is what people are actually seeing in the airport?
Absolutely, just taken off the gate numbers, that's all.
But that's just information. What else can we do?
Well, we use the telephone, so therefore we can send messages back to the computer in a message mode. For example, let me book you some seats at the Barbican Theatre, the Royal Shakespeare Company.
That's extremely kind of you.
220... I made an error. Right, if you look down line 24, 220-232-252, press hash, and this gives you seat availability. What are you interested in?
Henry IV parts 1 and 2, and Poppy. Well, let's try Henry IV part 2. 15th of March, what about
Well,
that?
16th of March is not available. Oh, it's 4-2 you want?
Yes.
15th of March, £8.50. OK, let's book it for you. This is an electronic booking form, an order form, if you like, which we've called up from the machine. And you'll see that the name of BBC Television Centre, which owns this particular set, coming up, and they're going to actually pay for it.
And the cursor moves along to just where you
The cursor now says we said what we said, March 15th.
March 15th.
1-5, press return. We obviously want two at 8:50, none at 7, certainly none at 6. We don't want a matinee. Then it says name, well, let's put in your name, Mac. Press return. Credit card, well, the BBC's credit card number is 1234, I'm reliably informed. And then you'll see on line 24, key 1 to send, key 2 to cancel. Since this is the last programme they can afford it, I'll send it. Message sent.
It's marvellous. But you wouldn't need a microcomputer to do that. You could do it on a fairly ordinary little dumb terminal like that.
Yes, I mean, everything we've seen so far, as you say, could be done with that and a colour television set or a black and white set.
What special service have you got to offer for a microcomputer user?
OK, well, here we have the BBC Micro with an acoustic modem, telephone network. It can do everything that we've done already on Prestel. And in addition, there is a service aimed specifically at owners of home computers, small computers in business and schools, and this is called Micronet 800. And what this does, I mean, its main feature is that Prestel stores on the computers computer programs which we download called telesoftware.
So it's not just for the BBC Micro,
it's for the Apple